Assalamu alaikum, dear learners. I am Aneela Laghari from Hope Higher Secondary School and College.
My dear students, today we learn about unit number 3, dynamics. First of all, let's we define what is dynamics. The branch of mechanics concerned with the motion of bodies under the action of forces.
Define force. Force is the agent that changes the state of rest or uniform motion of a body. Its SI unit is Newton. Do you know, students? Force is required to change the position, state, or shape of an object. Force produces acceleration. Force can act as pull or push agent. Force is a vector quantity. Let's define momentum. The momentum of an object is equal to the mass multiplied by the velocity of the object. The terms of an equation is P is equal to mv, where m is the mass and v is the velocity. The momentum is a vector quantity. Its SI unit of momentum is newtons. Momentum can also be defined as quantity of motion contained in a body. Momentum is product of mass and velocity of a moving object. Here are some examples of momentum in everyday life. Momentum of a large truck which is slowed down. Momentum of a football that hits on the head. Momentum of a tennis ball that hits on the racket. Then defines three laws of motion help us understand how objects behave when standing still, when moving, and when forces act upon them. Newton's first law of motion implies that things cannot start, stop, or change direction all by themselves, and it requires some force. Newton's first law states that a body at rest or uniform motion will continue to be at rest or uniform motion until and unless a net external force acts on it. Newton's second law of motion states that the acceleration of an object as produced by a net force is directly proportional to the magnitude of the net force in the same direction as the net force and inversely proportional to the object's mass. Mathematically, we express the second law of motion as follows. F is equal to ma, where F is force, m is mass of the object, and v is the velocity. Then finally, third law of motion, Newton's third law of motion, states that there is an equal and opposite reaction for every action. According to third law of motion, the table applies an equal and opposite force to the book. This force occurs because the book slightly deforms the table. As a result, the table pushes back on the book like a coiled spring. Let us discuss the frictional and its types. What is friction? The force that resists relative motion between two surfaces is called friction. Types of friction: static friction, kinetic friction, sliding friction, rolling friction. Static friction, it is force acting on an object at rest that resists its ability to start moving. The maximum static friction is known as limiting friction. Kinetic friction, it is a force that resists the motion of a moving object. It is interesting to know that in almost all situations, static friction is greater than kinetic friction. Sliding friction, when one body slides over the other body, the friction between two surfaces is said to be sliding friction. Rolling friction, when a body moves on wheels, the friction is said to be rolling friction. Rolling friction is much lesser than the sliding friction. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe YouTube channel.